Welcome to EDU Endpoint Office Hours. Today is October 21st, not 31st, and we are doing a special Halloween themed episode for you guys today. So hopefully you'll partake in some of the fun that we've got. But before we get into all that, we'll go through our standard updates and just a few things to call out, and then hopefully we'll have some time for a Q&A at the end too. So with that, let's get started. We, of course, need to address that Windows 10 is finally end of support. So unless you are running extended security updates or ESUs, you are unsupported running Windows 10. So we've buried it, put it in the grave for the general population. So great operating system. We give it all the tributes, but it's time to move on to better and brighter things such as Windows 11. As we progress in about 1 month, November 18th, I believe, is the week of Ignite. I don't know. Show of hands. You can use the raise hand function, but show of hands. Anyone going to Ignite this year? No one.
Nope.
Me either. Oh, Larry's going. Awesome.
All right. We got
Okay,
one.
so this is going to be most suited for you, but for those of you who are not attending in person, like myself and Richard too, we have to attend digitally or virtually. So this slide was actually shared internally earlier or late last week, and I grabbed it for you guys because I thought it was a great example of some of the sessions that are related to what we tend to talk about within this call, right? Anything regarding Windows 11, Surface, Windows 365, AVD, going cloud native with Intune, right? All that kind of stuff. There's a bunch of sessions. It looks like a total of 49 sessions kind of related to the content that we speak about, but these are a few of the callouts. So number one, there will be your standard opening keynote. Satya usually delivers that. And then some visionary sessions. There's a couple of pre-day sessions, so I don't know if Larry, you get to partake in any of those, but there are a couple of pre-day
Larry's
options
going
there.
Virtually. Larry's not going in person. He's going virtually.
Oh.
He posted in chat. He's going virtually.
Dang it. Well, then so this really isn't applicable to anyone unless you're going virtually.
Hey, no, the last column on demand. There's four on demand sessions.
But the pre-day is not applicable to those unless you're in person.
Yeah.
But there are 23 breakout sessions. A lot of those are going to be recorded and available for you to watch post-event. And they're usually pretty good about getting those sessions up. Usually within 24 hours or so, you'll be able to watch those virtually. Not all sessions are recorded, but a lot of them are. And then the theaters, those are kind of smaller sessions that take place within the usually the convention center, the expo hall area. So again, virtually you can't do any of that. Labs, you can't do any of that either because you're all virtual. But the on-demand stuff, the last column there, you'll kind of see some of those sessions that'll be there for you guys to be able to watch. So just wanted to call that out again for y'all to, you can sign up today for Ignite virtually and start adding sessions to your backpack or save the events. So I would definitely start looking around and filling up your schedule there. All right, moving on. Microsoft Intune. Richard, do you want to talk about any of these, or do you want me to just jump in?
Jump in. Yeah, just go ahead and jump in.
Okay. So I've pulled them all up here for you guys so we can kind of go through these together. The first one was a great blog that the Intune support team wrote around advanced analytics in action. So if you have explored the Intune suite, if you're looking at advanced analytics and you're curious of some of the capabilities and what the value is of that solution within your environment, they've written a great blog that dives a little bit deeper into the solution and how you can take advantage of it. things like the custom device scopes and being able to target those endpoint analytics scores to a subset of devices within your organization, and also looking at all the reports within there. So you can really tailor those views specific to organizations. I think this is really great, especially for higher education where you need to break this out per department or per campus, and you can get more pointed results from that. So you can build out those custom security scopes and tie those in within advanced analytics. So they just kind of go through all of these examples on what this looks like, looking at the resource performance, the battery health reports, all of that good stuff from a custom view. So really good blog. If you're exploring that, you want to test that out in your environment, I would highly encourage you to check that out.
And one thing to note there is that it's not just advanced analytics, even though the title says advanced analytics. It does show things for endpoint analytics as well, which if you don't have Intune Suite, you do have access to that. So like the boot scores, the startup performance, those things are actually fully included within endpoint analytics. So this blog post isn't just for those that are getting the suite. So you can actually, if you've never looked at endpoint analytics before or advanced analytics, still a good post to look at.
Yeah, great call out. The second blog was actually what Richard talked about last time we met with the Intel vPro integration into the Intune portal. So we've integrated some of the other partner portals like the Dell Management Portal and the HP Connect portal. And what we've done is we've tied that into we've allowed the Intel vPro into the Intune Admin Center as well. So if you're using those fleet services within your organization today, this is going to grant you those capabilities to be able to, power on systems that are offline directly through the vPro suite itself. So we're just tying a direct integration into Intune through this partner portal automatically there. So we kind of called this out. Richard talked about this a little bit more last time, but we now have an official blog highlighting those capabilities there. So I think we even did a poll on who is actually using vPro today, and a number of you actually are. So that's hopefully going to add more value within the Intune console, making a one-stop shop for you guys.
Well, it's the integration's there, but it's not actually there's not a whole lot you can do at the device level within the Intune console.
No.
A lot of this
Sorry,
is
it's
all
not
done
like
through
remote actions, but it just points you to the portal to be able to access that quicker. Yeah.
Right, and what we're doing is we're pretty much giving you like SSO access to leverage your Entra account to sign into the vPro Fleet Services portal. But most of the work you're going to be doing is all in the vPro Fleet portal, which is a cloud portal. You don't have to do this on-prem. There's no server that you have to stand up, which you used to have to do with vPro. So I think this should be easier to stand up, because in the past it was like there's a lot of certificates you had to deploy and it was just kind of a hassle. So I think now with how they're making this more of a cloud solution, I think it's going to be a lot easier to take advantage of.
Yeah, and that is the same experience with the Dell and the HP, right? It's just kind of an SSO experience into those consoles to be able to manage them directly.
Mark, I'm not sure on the API permissions. Mark, I'm not sure.
Yeah, because I had something with Dell Command. It's an integration thing, and somebody tried to do it, and they're like, it needs API permissions. So, it's not for the organization. So just caveat, it's there, but there may take some work to be done to integrate it.
Yep. Thanks.
Awesome. There was a blog published through the Entra team, and it's really a summary of a lot of the announcements coming from July through September. But there was one call out that I wanted to make you guys aware of. If we scroll down to the middle of this page here, there's a section here about upgrades to the latest version of Microsoft Entra Connect by September 30th, 2026. So we have introduced a new first-party service principal, which is called the Microsoft Entra AD Sync service, and is part of hardening the Entra Connect tool itself. We've introduced this, and so with these new permissions that are allowed to synchronize AD to Entra ID, there's an update to this tool, and so you need to be at least on this version by September 2026. If you want to dig into a little bit more details, there are some docs around this, and what the expected impacts might be. It should be minimal, I think, for the majority of you, but you might want to take a look at this and make sure that you are updating this. You'll notice that if you don't upgrade, that all synchronization services will fail, between September 30th, 2026, and when you actually do upgrade. So it's like a year out, you've got plenty of time, but that will sneak up on you. So just a heads up there, you will need to plan for an upgrade for Ensure Connect.
Can you throw those links in chat?
Yes.
And for the most part, the default installation of Entra Connect Sync should have auto upgrade turned on. Although over the years, I've noticed in some instances where auto upgrade was turned on, my client wasn't auto upgrading. It's gotten better. I know I just looked the other day and my client was up to date and I haven't touched it in, I don't know, probably a year or so. So just double check, even though if you think that you might be set up for auto upgrade, it's possible that you might actually not be auto upgrading. So,
yep. Yeah, I'll throw all the links in the chat for you guys. Okay. This one. Do you want to talk about this one, Richard?
Yeah, so that just came out literally like 4 hours ago. Hot off the presses. So settings catalog is being updated to support all the new Windows 11 version 25H2 settings. So one of the big ones is the first one on the list there in the table. For app package deployment, we have our remove default Microsoft Store apps. So that is supposed to land with the 2510 service release. I didn't check my tenant this morning, so I don't know if it's there yet. At least I'm always last for whatever reason, probably because I'm on the West Coast.
Because you're not a king.
If that's not in yet for folks, by the end of the month, I think we should start to see this when 2510 is fully released. Let's see what else. Most of the other stuff, AI related things. I think down at the bottom, it's like a lot of AI related to click to do and recall and various other Windows AI components. So we're going to start seeing most of that in there. What you'll also notice in here, though, is that there's a lot of things that say Windows Insiders only on the far right for each of these settings. So some of these actually aren't, or these were insider settings that we had prior to 25H2 releasing, and now they're finally coming out. So I don't know if we're going to take away that Windows Insiders only tag for each of these items, but it's there for now. So yeah, so those should be rolling out shortly to everyone's tenants if they're not there already.
This one, well, I feel like we've talked about hot patch a lot. I think this is really just a blog talking about what hot patch is and how the engineers have allowed this to be more efficient and delivering those smaller updates. Again, those hot patches, if you're not familiar with them, new capabilities within 25H2 where we can deliver these hot patches that are smaller updates. Well, they're smaller updates once they're delivered out to the devices, and you don't have to reboot, right? It's not going to require a reboot, but it's like a separate strand of update cadences. So once you get locked into a hot patch, it's going to be minimally impactful for the end user, so they don't have to update or restart their machine. They'll continue to get the security updates themselves without that reboot being applied. And so it is much smaller than the cumulative update, but you're only on, you're kind of riding that roller coaster until you get off, right? And so there's some impact there. So we've talked a little bit about that. This is just detailing a little bit more about how those hot patches are designed and what to expect around that. So you can see here, there's where we talk about what that calendar would look like. So we have those baselines, which you will get delivered on the first of the month of each quarter. And then if you choose to go the hot patch route, then you'll get those delivered for the consecutive 2 months afterwards. So and just another blog for you to understand how that hot patch cadence is going to work, especially because it's being leveraged within auto patch, which is available for EU now. So,
and I think the big takeaway here, or the thing that I don't think a lot of people realize, and I've kind of said this multiple times now, but these are only security updates.
Yep.
So that's the reason why they're smaller, is because you're only installing the security payload. You're not installing the full CU. So once you get on the train and you go and start installing hot patch updates for the next 2 months after you install the first hot patch update, you're now installing only security updates. So you're never rebooting. You're installing just security updates. So if there's a new feature, if there's a bug fix that you absolutely need, and that end user's machine is affected by that bug, and it's going to be fixed in the cumulative update that might come out today. Well, if you're on the hot patch train, you won't get that until the next quarterly update for the baseline. And so for now, that could be January. So if you're going to have to wait all the way until January, that person's bug is not going to be fixed. So what you can do, though, is you can jump off. You can install the latest baseline update, but now they're going to be getting baseline updates until the next hot patch cycle happens. So you're not completely stuck on the hot patching train, but just know that if you see a cumulative update that's fixing an issue, your users may not get that until 2-3 months later, until the next baseline comes out. So,
which may be desired, and that's okay.
Yeah.
Richard, do you want to talk about these kind of 3 blogs? They're kind of related.
I haven't read them, so if you want to scroll through them, I can read.
Okay.
I can read them to people if you want.
To really summarize them, so our executive vice president for commercial and consumer marketing for Windows released a slew of blogs about making Windows 11 PCs AI PCs. So talking about new Copilot and agentic experiences coming to Windows 11. And this is a long blog post. So things like Copilot Vision are being brought to Windows 11. It's now GA worldwide. This is really only consumer, I believe, today. But you'll start seeing some of this start to come for commercial. So it's important to understand what's available for consumer today and how we can start securing that and managing that for commercial once we get those controls. But you'll kind of read through all of the Copilot actions that are now available and interactions that you can do within the Copilot app. You can see it actually brings up a web browser here, and we'll take, it's more agent mode, so you can actually ask it to perform specific tasks. Things like renaming all the pictures within your pictures folder, just different tasks that you can initiate directly within Windows. So it's a great blog to really understand some of those capabilities. Copilot connectors to connect to things like Google Drive, Gmail, and other services out there, right? You'll start seeing all of these capabilities come through. There's also a bunch of apps that are bringing Copilot capabilities into. So if you want to connect to additional applications or AI enhanced applications that we are partnering with, those are all highlighted within this blog. There's also some gaming tips and different AI components brought to the Xbox app and things like that. So it's a really, really long blog, but it's actually part of a series of blogs. So that was the first one, right? That's really focused on the consumer side. Then as we kind of look at this Windows Experience blog, then it talks about new experiences rolling out currently for Windows 11. So a lot of these are actually inclusive of the 25H2 update. So if you do have a Copilot Plus PC, you've got an NPU on that device, you can take advantage of a lot of these AI capabilities, such as AI actions that are now built into the context menu, the right-click context menu within Windows itself, bringing lots of capabilities around things like image generation, being able to erase objects within the Photos app directly. You don't have to go to another service, right? All of those kinds of capabilities. This one's interesting. The Microsoft 365 people cards. I actually just got this update on my machine. So now when I open up File Explorer and I see all my recent documents, if those have been, if I'm joined, right, and I'm utilizing Entra ID for my identity provider, you'll start seeing all of the M365 related data. So if it's a shared document and you've got someone editing it that you've shared it with, you'll see who last edited it directly within the File Explorer pane, who last opened it, who left a comment, different things like that. It's a little, I don't know if I should say anything. I don't know that I love it right now. It's gonna take some getting used to. I think it will prove beneficial over time, but it's, you expect just a large white screen when you look at File Explorer, and now it's got a lot of information in there.
But Garrett, is it better than the People app?
Don't hate on the People app. I still like the People app. That one's still good.
Okay.
But bringing it into File Explorer, like that's, I don't know, maybe that's a little too far. We'll see. I don't have this yet, the new visual experience for the Discover feed, making it look prettier, and you can access all of those lovely articles that MSN populates for you in there. Being able to customize your lock screen with widgets, like all these different updates for Windows 11. Again, a lot of these are either rolling out now as part of the 25H2 update, or will be coming very soon. Visual refresh of Windows Hello. No more smiley face. You get a pretty Windows logo. You tell me if you like that. I like the smiley face, but hey, they didn't ask my opinion. Passkeys manager integration. This is kind of interesting too, especially if you use password managers like 1Password or others out there. You can allow Windows to have direct integration there to manage all of your passkeys and make that a more of an SSO experience within Windows itself. We've talked about Wi-Fi 7. We've talked about App for Business. Oh, Microsoft Edit. This is a new one. Edit is a command line text editor directly in Windows. So you can quickly edit a file while you're in terminal, which is, I guess, useful for a lot of our developers. Probably like Richard. Richard will probably utilize that a lot.
Probably won't. I don't think I will, but okay.
Yeah, some minor enhancements, things like you can now actually see the calendar when you open up the notification center, actually see the clock, and you can turn that on now. So I don't know. It's just a huge blog of all these updates. So I would definitely encourage you, spend some time understanding some of these differences, get this out to your help desk, get this out to your instructional technology folks so that end users can take advantage of those new capabilities.
But Garrett, they said 25H2 was just an enablement package. Why is there so much stuff?
Because they've been delivering it over time. Have you looked at the large CUs for 24H2 for the past?
No, I have not had to deal with large CUs.
I didn't think you had to deal with that at all.
How big is the CU, Garrett?
4 gigs, right?
It's 4 gigs or somewhere around there now. How big's Windows? How big's a Windows ISO?
4 gigs.
It's like the CU is like a full Windows release now.
Okay, hold on, my screen sharing thing. Hang on. The third blog that was in this series was around securing AI agents on Windows. So again, talking about those agentic experiences that are coming to Windows, mostly within the Copilot Actions view today. This is just a great blog on how we are taking security and privacy matters to ensure that these agents are, are trusted, and that we are designing them to be trustworthy against our responsible AI practices and data controls that you would put in place and you could leverage as well. So just something that I think we should all familiarize ourselves with these new AI agents. It's coming faster than I think we all really care to even understand, but it is coming very soon. I think we're going to hear a lot more around this kind of stuff at Ignite, but you'll want to spend some time understanding what we are doing to secure that, but also looking at your own organization policies and understanding what these capabilities, as they are brought to Windows, what that can mean for you all and what you need to start implementing to secure your users and your data. Okay. Moving on really quick. A Windows 10 end of support that we've already talked about. This was a great blog published by the Microsoft Defender for Endpoint team. So understanding what this means from an MDE perspective, if you're using Defender for Endpoint, will Defender continue to protect those Windows 10 devices? The answer is largely that you'll still remain protected, but you are still out of date. So you'll notice that we'll actually provide those security intelligence updates around antivirus protection through October 2028. But that isn't going to provide you security enhancements to the OS itself, right? That you will still need the ESU for. So hopefully you all understand what the implications thereof is this, but now this is something for you to understand and even share with your leadership or security teams around what to expect around protection for those Windows 10 devices that are out of date.
October 2028. So I don't want anyone emailing me asking me when are Defender definitions going to stop getting deployed? Because between that and Office, it's like, it's like, okay, so when we know Windows support's out, but what about Office? What about Defender? So what about XYZ, right?
I think we talked about this last time, but M365 apps for enterprise, those are continued to be supported. I want to say through 2027 or 2028 as well. Don't quote me on that. I need to go back and confirm, but it is supported. There's a doc article out there that highlights that. However, it's also important to know that already in cadence with the Windows 10 end of support, we've also lost support for Office 2016, 2019, and next year will be Office LTSC 2021 end of support. So if you're running any of those, you need to update as well. But M365 apps for enterprise still is supported and will continue to receive updates on Windows 10 for at least another year or two. Richard, I'm going to pass this one to you.
So this is a blog post that I think probably should have came out a year ago, but it's here after Windows 10 went out of support. But it says support a smooth upgrade to Windows 11. Well, we're still going to have customers that are running ESU, and they are still trying to figure out how to get off of Windows 10 onto Windows 11. So there's no better time than now to get off of an unsupported operating system. And so we've got 10 tips here to help with Microsoft Intune helping support a smooth upgrade to Windows 11. And these 10 tips, I think, come from our MVPs and some Microsoft engineers as well. So if we scroll through it, Garrett, I'm not going to go hit on each of these, but just high-level tips of like how do we handle with hardware policies, disk space. That's been a pretty big problem actually for a lot of people. Just hey, I've deployed Windows 11, but it's not installing. I don't know why. Chances are it's probably run out of disk space. But we also have targeted version-specific rollouts, modernizing provisioning with Intune and Autopilot. So if you haven't been using Autopilot yet, now's the time to start jumping into that. Windows backup for organizations. We just released this, pulled it back. It's like we're kind of yo-yoing it a little bit, but the idea behind Windows backup for organizations is really to back up your Windows settings in the settings app from Windows 10 to Windows 11. And so that will make things a bit easier for your end users because you don't have to figure out how you're going to copy all their settings over. You can just use Windows backup for organizations to handle that. We then have Windows 365 Reserve, which we've talked a bit about around being able to reserve some compute for Windows 365 to allow for business continuity. So imagine you've got a disaster or something, a natural disaster, it could be an earthquake or hurricane or something. People can't access their machines, but you do have the ability to access the cloud. And so you could purchase Windows 365 Reserve instances where you'll have access to a Windows 365 Cloud PC that you can quickly get up and running and still continue business while your on-prem environment might be inaccessible. And then we've got treat your upgrade as a security milestone, obviously going from a insecure OS that's no longer getting updates to a OS that is still in support. It's obviously a good thing from a security standpoint, but then also maintaining your Windows 11 security posture with faster patching. This goes into hot patching, as we talked about earlier. So some good tips there to take advantage of.
Who's
check out that
Simon?
blog as well.
Hold on, I didn't read this.
You
Oh,
didn't read
it's
this? How could you, Garrett? There's only 10,000 blog posts in the last 2 weeks.
I know.
Did you not read all these?
I just noticed this explore Simon tips, and I'm like, who's Simon? But
Simon says.
That's not a third. That's a third party person, I guess. Not Microsoft.
Yeah, there's MVPs and Microsoft engineers kind of had their hand in that blog post.
I gotcha.
All
right.
ESU.
Yep, ESUs. For those of you who are using Windows 365 or Azure Virtual Desktop, this is pretty much the exact same article published in both places. Nope, I didn't click that all the way. It's pretty much the exact same blog written just tailored for Windows 365 and AVD. But essentially, we do have ESU support for the Win 10 images. You'll notice that for Windows 365, you can no longer provision a Windows 10 machine. You have to use a custom image through the image gallery in Azure. So if you're a Windows 365 customer and you create a custom image, then you can apply that ESU there. So this is just a blog post highlighting how you would do that. Similarly with AVD, we still have images in the gallery, I think, for AVD, and they do support the ESUs. But for Windows 365, you'll have to upload those. So I don't know how long, or if we determined how long those Windows 10 images will
be. It's actually right there. It's in that
April
paragraph right
there. Okay, April 14th, 2026.
Well, that's so that's the one with M365 apps built in will be available till April 2026.
Yeah.
The without the apps
will be until 2028.
Correct. And then the image without the apps will receive the last service update in October 2025. Between October 2025 and April 26, the new deployed session hosts will need to install ESUs to be current.
Yeah.
So it's important to understand the distinctions between these if you are managing AVD, because with Windows 365, there aren't any images. You got to make your own. But with AVD, we will give you them, but depending on what you're picking, you may not actually have updates in them until you put the ESU into the image that the ESU key into the image that you're deploying. So,
yeah, and I wonder too if this April 14th, 2026 date is the one for M365 apps, and maybe that's why they're removing that. I'll confirm, but yeah, so be aware of what you may need to do if you have an AVD environment. Speaking of, we have a new ephemeral, and I hope I say that correctly. I've never been able to say it.
You got it. You're good.
Well, but we've got new OS disk support available for AVD. So this is going to help provide you a little bit more capability of where you actually store the operating system on the virtual machine's local storage within the same physical server where the VM runs. So this will eliminate the need to connect to remote Azure storage, helping to reduce network latency and deliver faster disk performance for those VMs. So again, if you are leveraging AVD in your environment today, there is a new checkbox that you would select when you create your host pool, and you can check that box right there. Supporting with dynamic auto scaling plans as well. So if you have session hosts that spin up more VMs, then we support those scaling plans as well. So I'll be curious. I guess I need to test it out myself. But if any of you are, if you're using AVD and you've tested this out, I'd be interested to learn what your experience is now that we've got that support there. If it actually does perform better for you and your end users. But all signs point to it would be.
There are some restrictions here on this too. If you scroll up just a little bit, Garrett. So this is really designed more so for non-persistent scenarios due to how the ephemeral disks operate. Because they can't be started or deallocated,
Oh, that's right.
Instead, they can only be reimaged or deleted.
Yep.
So if you do patch your VMs every month, instead of reimaging and including the latest cumulative updates, you probably aren't going to be using ephemeral disks. But if you're using throwaway VMs in a non-persistent state, then ephemeral disks will definitely be much better. So it should speed things up quite a bit.
Awesome. Okay, the last one is actually not really Windows related, but more EDU specific, and wanted to ensure that you all are aware that Microsoft 365 Copilot now has an EDU discount. So we made a blog post announcement late last week that EDU pricing is now available. If you scroll down to the middle of this blog, right here in this section, it says that we are excited to introduce a new academic offering for Copilot for $18 per user per month versus the $30 per user per month, which is a 40% discount. Pretty substantial. Again, that's for all educators, staff, and students ages 13 and older. It's starting on the price list in December. So if you are looking, if your organization's looking at purchasing Copilot, make sure that they're aware of the new pricing. Hopefully that allows you guys to access this and provide your users with a secure AI solution at a much more respectable rate. Hopefully that is decent for you all. I've heard a lot of good feedback from customers already that they're excited about this offer. So if you haven't heard, this is now available. There is a little bit more within this blog post too about how we have a dedicated teach and learn AI agent built into the Copilot app itself. That's highlighted a little bit more into this blog itself. Mike Dolson, who you're all familiar with, I'm sure, on our M365 EDU product team, goes into detail on how you can leverage the teach mode within the Copilot app itself. And then there's a study and learn mode within Copilot too. So helping with homework and assignments and built-in rubric grading and quiz creation and all that kind of stuff that's aligned to standards. So really excited. I always love when we deliver EDU specific features into our M365 experiences, specifically with Copilot. So to see that this is a very dedicated, like that was just all bullet point number one. Now we're going into bullet point number two. So lengthy blog post and describing all of these new updates in detail. Even the new learning zone. This is a Copilot Plus feature that will help educators create interactive and personalized lessons in minutes. So this actually leverages the NPU on those Copilot Plus PCs. And that's a new app available as well. So lots of good stuff, but really excited for that EDU pricing for Copilot. Awesome. That's all I've got. Let's see.
That's it? There's not more? Jeez.
That's it.
For sure thought there was way more. I'm kidding. It's going to be worse when Ignite hits, though.
Which is a good thing, right? Because I think it
was light. It was light like the last few weeks, and then they made the AI announcement last, what was it, Tuesday or Wednesday last week. So, but no, it was a ton of stuff. Surprisingly, there's a lot of stuff. Just in the last couple of weeks.
Again, not all Windows, Intune, Intro related, but all good stuff. Okay, let me see.
So, Garrett, I got a question for you.
Yeah.
So, for the $18 per user per month for Copilot, M365 Copilot, what if we have already paid the full cost? How do we get the new price?
I don't know.
I don't
Do you know?
I have no idea. That's a talk to your
That's
account team.
your Microsoft account team
Yeah,
question.
do not email me. Don't email me.
Or me. I will redirect you to your account team. I do not know.
Yeah, I'm sure they've got a way to handle it.
Oh yeah. Yeah. All right. So for our Halloween special edition, we've got a few minutes left. So wanted to play a little game with you guys, make it fun and interactive. So we're gonna play a Halloween edition of Would You Rather. Now, I built polls, but the polls aren't working. So you're just gonna have to type your answers in the chat. I'm gonna try one more time, see if I can get the polls to show up. Yeah, it just says something went wrong. I don't know if it does that for you, Richard, but
I don't know that I've ever even turned on a poll in Teams. So
well, there's an app called Polls, and I like pre-built all the questions. And no, we're not gonna do Kahoot because that requires effort. I was just gonna do something Microsoft based.
Garrett
So
wants
anyway,
to put
now
zero
I'm making
effort
you
in.
guys work, and I'm making you guys type in your answer, okay? And
Hey,
you
mine
can
worked.
shorten your answer all you want. You don't have to participate, but I would love for you to participate.
Is
Wait,
Richard
what?
going to add
Where's for me?
Copilot to FFU?
Oh, that's weird.
No. You see the
No,
chat?
I think it's yeah, it's because of the way we design the meeting. Anyways, here
Yeah.
we go. Are you ready? The
I'm
first
ready.
one. Would you rather accidentally delete your Intune app assignments or break every user's BitLocker key and Entra ID?
What if you've done both of these?
You can do both of them, but like
No,
which
I mean,
one
what if
would
you've
you
actually
rather?
done both of these?
People are like app assignments. Yeah, that's the right answer.
I do like this engagement though. There's a lot of people typing in here. Okay.
Yes.
I like it. I like it. That means
Because
you're all
assignments
engaged.
is kind of a big word. Like, rock on.
It's a good one. That is a good one. Yeah. Breaking everyone's BitLocker key. That's a career limiting move.
That's right. This is see, it's spooky edition. So like again, you should be slightly scared as you read these. You're just like, ugh, I don't want to think about it. All right. Moving on. This is great. Keep it up. Would you rather have one rogue local admin on every endpoint or a ghostly GPO that keeps reappearing after reboot?
Again, what if this already exists in my environment?
You have to pick one. GPOs. See, again, the right answers.
The GPO.
They're all so security conscious. I love it.
I think they're just trying to tell you the right answer, but we all know that most of them probably have that rogue local admin account on every device that all the school techs know the local admin password for it. And maybe some students have even figured out what the password is too.
Probably. Implement labs. Dallas, I am the rogue admin.
I am the captain now.
That's right. All right. Good, keep it up. Would you rather be haunted by the ghost of Windows 7 or the spirit of legacy SCCM? Notice how that's in quotes. That refuses to move to Intune. Legacy.
I don't know, man. There's still a lot of people that really love
answers in this one.
There's a lot of people that really love Windows 7.
Yeah.
And there's also a lot of people that really love legacy SCCM.
Just as like I still have both. There's nothing wrong with SCCM.
Why not both?
Man.
Why not both? I manage my Windows 7 with SCCM.
I think Windows 11 is pretty.
Yeah, it is pretty.
Okay. Looks like we stopped. All right, moving on.
All right, what do we do
next? Would you rather fight a relentless horde of duplicate devices in Entra or be cursed with pending policy status that never clears? on choose your platform. I don't care what it is.
I don't know, man. I think a lot of people are in this state too.
Duplicates. Y'all are so funny. I think it's becoming like a popularity. I'm just gonna write what the first person writes.
Are you writing this down, or are we keeping tallies?
I wanted to with the polls, but that didn't work.
Yeah, that didn't happen.
Jesse's like, this is embarrassing. I feel seen.
It's because this is like you're saying this is all scary stuff, but this is stuff that people live with every day.
I know, they should be scared. All right. Would you rather discover your autopilot profile was never assigned or realize too late that you wiped the wrong device?
Gotta think it's gotta be the first one. Who would want to realize the second
Well,
one?
think about it. Like, what if you never assigned a profile and you're about to do like a 30,000 device deployment at the beginning of school?
Actually, you know what does happen? People think they go through autopilot when they're just adding their Entra account through the Ubi. They're just going through there and just typing in their Entra account.
Yeah.
So they think that they're going through autopilot. I've had so many people come to me.
Exactly.
Like,
especially with
we did
students. If you're doing a
autopilot.
student deployment and you have all these students that just have local accounts, that could be pretty bad. I like the variation.
But what was the wrong device that was wiped? That might be important.
I don't know. What if it was the superintendent or the president?
Which president?
The president of the university where education.
Oh, I thought we were talking about a different president. Because I think I'd rather do that
David's
one than
like
the autopilot.
the SCCM server got wiped. That's what happened. All right.
Yeah, if it was like Satya's device, yeah, I'd be okay with the autopilot profile not being assigned. But if it was someone else,
I don't know. I mean, if it's all backed up and OneDrive and you've got Windows backup for organizations actually working, and I don't know, it'd be all right.
I think in most cases, yeah.
All right, moving on. Would you rather be haunted by the spirit of Clippy offering helpful tips in the Intune Admin Center? And let's be clear, we're talking about like the annoying helpful tips, or be forced to manage devices using only the Graph Explorer?
What if you replace Clippy with Copilot?
I intentionally chose not to say Copilot because it won't be long before Copilot will offer tips.
It's one of those things where like people like love Clippy now, but if you actually lived, but if you lived and did this, like if you had to deal with Clippy every day at the time, it's like nostalgia. It's like, yeah, you know what, Clippy wasn't so bad.
Yeah.
It's like, but do you really remember dealing with Clippy all the time and having to turn it off?
Think about it. Like in the Intune console, as you're navigating and you're clicking through and it's always popping up. Like you say you like it.
But the alternative here is, well, you're forced to manage devices using only the Graph Explorer.
Well, that would be kind of tough, right? Like,
well, if I'm using ChatGPT Atlas, the new agentic browser that they just released today.
True.
Maybe I can use that to use an agent to use the Graph Explorer and automate all that stuff.
Yeah. All right, let's keep going. Would you rather accidentally delete your host pool on Halloween or discover that your multi-session AVD VMs are possessed by idle users and you're paying for it? Maybe we don't have a lot of AVD users here.
I think this might depend, though, on who my users are and how many hosts I have.
And why would it depend?
Well, because if I delete my host pool, and my users like were students, like that might stink, sure. But if I've got this massive multi-session AVD environment and no one's logging off, and I'm just paying for all these people to sign, like I'm not powering anything off. I've got these people that are just sitting on it. I mean, costing me more money. I don't know.
Okay. Moving on. Would you rather find the help desk replaced by AI that answers every ticket with, "Have you tried turning it off and on again?" Or lose admin rights to your own tenant during an outage? See, that's what Jesse, I was thinking too. If I lose admin rights, then I'm worthless. I'm out.
Well, what happened like a week ago where we couldn't even get into the Intune portal? Couldn't get into Entra. It's like,
Yeah.
what
do you do?
I'm going golfing. That's what I'm doing. Have you tried turning it off and on again? I don't know.
AI. A lot of AIs would.
I think you can ignore the AI, right? Might be annoying, but you can ignore it. But the admin
Maybe.
rights.
Maybe. Yeah. All right. Is this okay? I think we only have like two. I think two more. I think this is second to last one. Would you rather be haunted by endless remediation failed with the error code, or have your reporting dashboards stuck on loading until next Halloween? And I put dashboards on purpose because it doesn't have to be Intune dashboards. It can be all your dashboards. I don't care what dashboards you have, all of them.
What if that happens to you all the time?
But like remediation failed happens all the time.
Yeah.
But it's like annoying. But would you rather your reports
That just
not
means
load?
that your script, it's probably because your script is
Probably because
poorly
your
written.
detection method is wrong.
You got to fix your scripts. They'd still take dashboards.
I think it's like I have both. Okay.
I don't know. I think with enterprise app management, we got the apps not loading all the way through. That's almost like loading until next Halloween.
Oh,
remember that?
In the catalog, you mean? Like when you're looking for the
You're scrolling through
yeah.
the catalog and we got to like Eclipse or something. Like we got down to E. Couldn't get through all of them. That was a good one.
Did we do this on this call? Did we show them on this call? I think we had them repro it.
Yeah, I think we did.
Yeah. Okay, last one, I think, and then I'll send you all on your way. Would you rather join EDU Endpoint office hours and accidentally share your personal desktop wallpaper, or be the one who forgets to unmute while eating your Halloween candy? People are like, I have a cool wallpaper. I want to share it.
I have a really annoying chewing sound. No one wants to be the guy the guy or gal caught chewing.
That's right. He's like the crinkles. I don't know. That team's background noise suppression, it's pretty good. Like, have you tried to eat chips or something on there? Like, you can't even hear it.
I don't know. We're gonna have to do like a test. Like maybe next time we'll have to do a test. Like how well. I've seen the
people
videos.
Are like vacuuming.
Yeah. I've seen the videos.
Okay, that was it, guys. We're ending on time.
I think Joe's got a question, I think.
Oh, no, I was going to follow up. You're talking about the noise suppression. I literally had people at my house. We were getting our siding replaced. They were hammering in the like framing around the window that was less than a foot behind my laptop. And I'm in a call with my boss and I was like, oh, I'm sorry it's so loud. And he says, what are you talking about? I don't hear anything. and they're like
See?
hammering right there by the microphone. I was not using a headset. Like Teams noise suppression is ridiculously good.
Yeah, that's pretty impressive. Thanks for sharing that. Yeah, Dallas, I'll put all the links in the chat for you guys. There was a lot more than we actually anticipated. Funny enough, I usually build them pretty close to this call, but we started building it last week. There's just a lot this week. So sorry we didn't get to any questions. If you have a question, throw it in the chat. We'll do our best to answer it. I know it's really early for Halloween, but happy Halloween. We won't talk to you guys until November 4th, I believe, which is actually election day. So make sure you go out and vote before you come to EDU Endpoint office hours. But yeah, hopefully you guys all have a safe and fun Halloween with your families, and y'all get some time, maybe a party or something at your work. So thanks for joining. Hopefully it was fun. We'll see you guys next time.
Take care.
Bye.